Issa Rae, Issa Rae, Issa Rae. Sigh. So the thing that's going on now that is causing a big bunch of problems is that there's this old book from like 3 years ago or something that Issa Rae wrote, and within this book, Issa Rae made some statements, or some people say it was satire, where she basically said that since black women are doing so well and they're so educated, and since Asian, and they're rejected supposedly in the dating pool, and since Asian men are smart and educated and they're rejected in the dating pool, that they should get together. And she also made a statement about something along the line of, I think, like some of the Southern Asians being like the Negroes of the Asian community, something along that line. I'm not quoting exactly here. But the gist of it is she just not only managed to offend black people in general, I would think, the way she said it, but also Asian people, because I saw some Asian people that found offense in what she was saying. Now, I don't want to be so hard on her, but I will say this. I think, in all honesty, if you look at her background, her perspective, or I should say her paradigm, has a lot to do with it, because she comes from I think a West African background, and a lot of time with certain peoples that come to America, they don't truly understand, especially with their parents, they don't understand the true history of black people in America. Their history of black people in America comes from white America, because white America published books and does all these things, and they send it out into the world. When you're a black person in America and you grow up black in America and you have black family, there is an ingrained history that is passed down to you that is not in a history book. As we know, history is written by the victors. And that means since white people are considered the victors in the history of America, then I mean they could write it however they want to. And because of that, when you do have foreigners, especially if they're black, or any kind of foreigner, their perspective on black people, for the most part, all hinges on what white America specifies as history and is in those books written by a white America. Otherwise, it's just not fact. And that's just how things are said and made. Now, to kind of put all this in perspective about Issa Rae, I think that Issa Rae is a person that is using her popularity to further her career. She's using it to find success. And that's understandable. But in a larger, the whole of what's good for black people in America, I think that Issa Rae is dangerous. One of the reasons why I think that she is dangerous, and even what she said in the book was dangerous, is that, for one, black people consume too much entertainment. And if you ever want to destroy black people, as they have, you put it in entertainment, because that's how we deal with, or how we get a lot of information. Now, she's dangerous because black women and black people see her as black. She's black, but she's not what I would call American black. There's a different cultural background. It's like bringing in some black person from England, or no, I won't say England because they have a somewhat similar history. But let's say we bring in a person that's black that was raised in Germany. It will be some similarities, but it's going to be very different the way things have went. The history of black people in Germany, especially in the last 70 to 80 years, it's different. They will not understand and see the civil rights movement the way that black Americans do. Also, besides her seeing things different and just kind of being in the entertainment business, black women in particular, they're always looking for a champion. And that's understandable because black women are very, very underrepresented people, especially on TV and in movies. And because of that, one of the tricks and one of the techniques that is used is to get somebody that looks like a black woman and use that person to convey whatever message you want. Okay? And what is happening is Issa Rae is seen as a black woman, as by many black women as a classic black American woman, which she is not. And if we went to another reason why she's dangerous, what she said was dangerous, a lot of it because what she said, even if it was satire, it was very unrealistic. Asian men come from a very patriarchal background, especially if they're Asian men that are born in Asia. And even the ones in America, they cling on to their culture a lot more than, let's say, many other groups of people here in America. And the idea and the concept or stereotype of a black woman is very rooted in the women's movement and feminism. Black women are probably have a stronger background than most women of any culture in the world. Okay? A lot of it was from the weak point that black men were when the feminist movement took hold. Black men were they were looking for jobs. They were being like just closed out of the workplace and the economy. So black men were not the providers as they may have liked to be. It was just a mess. So it was easy to a certain extent for black women to be like, why am I going to listen to this guy or stand behind this guy who can't even keep a job? So now you have this situation of weakening of the standing point of the black male. Now, when you take all that in account, far as black women and their perspective or their paradigm, it's like you have women who are seen as combative. And I'm gonna be real with you. I don't know who came up with the idea that any men, any heterosexual men, were looking for women that are seen as combative. And that's something else that I think that the media pushes out there, that, oh yeah, you know, independent, da-da-da-da-da, which is fine, but let's be real. Men have not changed that much, and trying to take and nurture women, especially black women, into a combative nature, which I don't think is at all part of the black woman's nature. I think it's a defense mechanism because they feel like that's all they can do. And that's what they have to do because they feel like there is no protection. There is no whatever for them. So the best thing to do is just be combative. I don't see Asian males flocking to black women, and I don't see black women flocking to Asian males either. And I don't want to call it delusional, but I think it's a little bit unrealistic what she was saying. And I see a lot of sisters that were saying, well, what's the problem with her saying that? You know, that's her truth. That's our truth. Or, yeah, we should step out. That's fine. You know what? However you can find love, find it. But in all honesty, it really just feels like what several things I think happen in the black community. Well, you know what? I'm going to do or say this just to hurt you because of my pain. So I'm going to say, if I think that this is going to hurt you, I'm going to do it. So black women do it to black men and black men do it to black women. And it's really disappointing. And unfortunately, when you have so many people that are hurt, whether it be black men or black women, there will continue to perpetuate this, oh my gosh, horrible ideas. When has this ever worked? Can somebody, who can show facts where this works out? Matter of fact, I was looking at a statistic, and it's on blackdemographics.com, that black men marry black women at a rate of 86%. And if I'm correct, that was in a 2010 census, which of course was the last census as of now in 2018. So that lets you know that black men are not in that high of a percentage leaving the black community. They're just not. This is a media perpetuated trick. And I feel like the people that are commenting and that, oh yeah, Issa Rae, you're right, we need to get away from them because black men are losers, is some of the stuff I heard. We're so educated and we're doing so well. Listen, I don't want to disparage black women because I love black women. I think they are beautiful. They're the most beautiful creatures on earth. But it doesn't matter how beautiful you are. The problem is that there are some things that people value above beauty. And a lot of that has to do with their standing in the community. So that means that a white boy might see you as beautiful and want to deal with you because, you know, it's like any man. I don't think there is any man from any culture on earth that can't admit that black women are beautiful. If they won't, then of course they're white supremacists or whatever kind of supremacists you want to call it. But black women are beautiful. They have great features. They age well. There's just so, just far as looks, black women, far as I'm concerned, win. But that does not change the fact that in the standing, there's still things. There's the thing that, of course, there's this idea that black women are combative. I'm not saying that it's always true, but it's definitely some truth to how we are socialized, and it has, especially in America, and it causes a problem. And that's going to be a reason why there won't be a flock of Asian, of white, of Russian, of all these men just flocking straight to black women, especially American black women, because at the end of the day, men want peace. Now, I'm not saying you need to lay down and be totally docile, but no man wants a woman that, like, he's going to come home and he's going to fight with her or compete with her. That's not what any man wants. And I think sometimes that because of the failings of black men, which we have our downfalls as a group, and more of it is individually, but sometimes as a group, I think that black women have kind of, like, at least those like Issa Rae and those that listen to her have bought into this idea that black men are the only men group of men that are so low, that do certain things, that are abusive, that do these things, and that's no way near true. And unfortunately, I feel like people like her that sell these ideas are hurting black women, because you have these black women that are chasing this idea that, oh, it's not our fault, it's just them, or we can just go to Asian men, or we could just do that. And some I don't even think really believe in that. Like I said, I think it's just, you know what? We're tired of this sitting here and dealing with y'all. So even if we don't think it's really going to happen, we're going to say it because we think it's going to hurt y'all, you know? And unfortunately, the only thing happens is it's a tit for tat situation. And then you get black men angry, and it goes tit for tat. And you get this on the internet. So anyway, that's my spiel on Issa Rae. I don't have anything like personally against her, but I do think that she is a pawn for white supremacy. I'm gonna be real. Many like her. I've seen oh my God, what's that other woman that's on Insecure? It's another one like that. And they just manipulate our community. And they know that black men have very little sway within, especially with black women as a group. Not saying that black men don't have much sway, but as a group, they don't. And basically, all you have to do is put the right face in front of them and put a message, and that's it. You know, because it just seems like the Issa Rae effect is powerful.